Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to Coffee and Colorful Conversation. I just double checked the calendar because I cannot believe it is December 4th already. I was talking to somebody yesterday and I kept referring to, in December, and he was like, it's December. So, wow, this year, 2019, so full of change, so many new things, but so many good things. And they say, time flies when you're having fun. And it's so true. I've shared with all of you how the last 7 years, when I was still in my salon, I felt like every day was Groundhog Day. Put the hairline protective cream on, mix the color, apply the color, set the timer, offer the client coffee, make sure she's comfortable with the temperature, ask her if she's going to be getting a treatment after her color. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. But this year was full of so much change. It went so much faster, which is good and bad, because when you're really enjoying yourself, you want it to last forever and you don't want it to go quickly. But it's been quite a ride. So much gratitude for all of you who follow Coffee and Colorful Conversation, for all of you who jumped in to boot camp and participated so fully. So, of course, every Coffee and Colorful Conversation, about 4 a.m., something pops into my head and I get up and I'm all squinty, sneaking around my bedroom, trying to write down what it was that popped into my head so I can remember when I turn this camera on. And what popped into my head at 4 a.m. was how important culture is in the salon and how much the culture needs to be set up as well as protected by the person at the top. So in owning a salon for 30 years, anytime I had any type of issues, I wanted to go to a workshop, to a seminar, help me fix this. I need to fix this. And I've been to a lot of business seminars, a lot of hair color workshops, a lot of hair shows. Now that I stepped away from being the salon owner and I no longer am in that role, when I visit forums with people's issues, when they type their problem, I look at it and I say, how is that even a problem? I can see so much clearer now that I am not in that role. And that's why if you did the boot camp, we did the Myers Briggs test, the personality test. So important to understand that if I'm an introvert and you're an extrovert and we're talking about a situation, we are never going to agree on it. Because you look at life through an extroverted lens, I look at it through an introverted lens. I was talking to my sister-in-law last night, and we were talking about our travel bucket list. And she said, oh, I've always wanted to go to Oktoberfest in Germany. I said, oh my gosh, that sounds like a nightmare to me. A bunch of people drinking warm beer in a very, very crowded situation with lots of music and people pushing and shoving. That to me sounds awful. If you told me I could sip a cappuccino in a quiet cafe in Italy and people watch for 3 hours, I would light up like a Christmas tree. So everybody's different. But what happens is in a salon situation, you have the person that's the leader, and depending on their Myers Briggs and their personality is how they're going to lead. And unfortunately, I had to get super clear and comfortable with the phrase that the fish stinks from the head down. That one hurt. And I would hear it over and over again. And anytime I had issues in my salon, they would say, it starts with the leader. People quit leaders, not salons. People quit cultures, not buildings. It's the culture. So if you're on December 4th, if you're headed into work today and you have that pit in your stomach and you know that Debbie, the pain in the ass, is going to be there giving you her stink eye as soon as you see her, that starts to really peck at you, and it really creates a change in your personality and the way that you treat other people. That popped into my head at 4 a.m. and then I went for my morning beach walk. And if you follow me, every morning I walk for an hour and my destination is a big, beautiful 5-star hotel where I get my Starbucks coffee, very overpriced Starbucks coffee, but it's become a ritual. And I've been walking there since August 9th, every single day, Saturday, Sunday, every day, 7 days a week, $5 for, $4.28 for a cup of coffee. And I love every second of it. So if you follow me, I was complaining one day because their credit card machine was down. And of no fault of my own, it had nothing to do with me. I went to pay with my card and they said, oh, our card's down. You have to do either cash or a room charge. Well, I don't stay at the hotel, so the room charge was out, and I don't have any cash anymore because I'm not doing any hair. So I was like, well, and he already poured the coffee. So I said, well, I'm here every day. Can I just pay you double tomorrow? And he was like, no. So me not feeling appreciated for that $4.28 cup of coffee every single day since August. I think when this happened, it had been like 4 months of me being there every day, ordering the same thing. Why am I talking about my coffee and my beach walk? Because it wraps into culture, salon vibe, appreciation, and the VIP, the norm factor, like cheers. So every day. So I had to go to the ATM machine, which I never do. I didn't even know I had an ATM card. My husband got me one and put it in my wallet, and I'm scrambling to get the money, and I pay for it. And I'm annoyed. I'm like, I'm not going back there anymore. They don't appreciate me as a customer and blah, blah, blah. And it was all in my head that it was all like he was out to get me. It had nothing to do with me, but he didn't have that 5-star service that should go along with a 5-star property. A 5-star property, John DeJulius is one of the featured guest artists in my membership. He is amazing. If you don't know who he is, get his book, Secret Service. It changed my entire culture of my business and changed my life in as far as customer service and how far it goes. And things that don't cost you anything can make a huge difference in your client retention. So he would say, not only would the coffee be free, but he would give me a coupon for another cup of coffee the next day for the inconvenience of not being able to pay. He's always above and beyond. He does talks, keynotes at Ritz-Carlton, all the high-end hotels on how to even keep up-leveling the service even more. He teaches them to do a different do not disturb tag on rooms that people are regular visitors to the hotel so that the staff can address them by name when they come in and out of their rooms, like just that extra level of service. So if you don't have a good chief in the salon that you're in and the culture isn't great and people don't know what the culture is, it's willy-nilly. Everybody's dressing however the heck they want. They're showing up whenever the heck they want. And then they're in these forums saying, what do I do? They're doing this, they're doing that, and they're not listening. And I'm like, first thing I type in the comments is, do you have an employee manual? Well, no, but they should just know. And I'm like, oh, this is so familiar because that's the way I used to run my business. When I first opened my business, I was 22 years old. Do you think I wanted to sit down and write a corporate manual for a 2-chair salon? I was like, okay, I'll just tell her what the rules are. She'll follow them and we'll get along great. And she did, and we did. So when there was 2 of us, we got along amazing. We finished each other's sentences. When we were slow in the salon, we would go out for an amazing lunch and have great conversation. We had so much in common. And then we both got so busy that along came person number 3. If you know anything about emotional intelligence and interaction with people, 3 is a tough number in any situation. Anytime there's 3 people, somebody feels left out. Somebody favors another person, and there's a little bit of that feeling left out feeling. So she came along, she got really busy, and then it became, she took my client, she answered the phone, and she's stealing all the clients, and then there was all that inner bickering. And the larger the staff became, the more I had to figure out, I would go to these seminars and they would say, you need structure. And I was like, but what is structure? What you keep saying structure, what is that? I didn't understand what it was. Basically, it was knowing what the rules are. This is the dress code. Being on time is getting there 15 minutes before your first client, not at the same time as your first client. So setting all of that up from day one, and I guarantee there's like 42 people watching this live right now. I think out of the 42 people, I would love for you to let me know, answer in the type in whether you have an employee manual, whether where you work has one, whether you are the owner and you have one. I would say maybe out of the 42 people on here, maybe 3 actually have an employee manual. So the one thing that the person typed in the other day was, all of my girls leave their color bowls with color in them overnight. my head was like spinning on my shoulders. I'm like, first of all, how can you have any respect for yourself and treat your equipment like that? Like those bowls are going to be stained. Those brushes are going to be all mangled and frayed. There is zero tolerance for that kind of stuff with me. Like my staff, my former staff would never, ever in a billion years leave even one bowl unrinsed overnight. To me, that's absolute disrespect. That's kind of like you deal with it. Like there's something going on in that culture where that was a passive aggressive move on their part. Like we're not paid enough. We're not washing our bowls is how I take it. And I don't even know the people involved. So the owner was on one of the forums saying, what do I do? And I said, first of all, how did this become a repeat offense? Like if anyone left a sink full of bowls ever once, there would be a conversation on the spot next to the sink saying, in what world did you think that this was okay? Can we talk about why you thought that was okay to do that? Oh, I was in a rush. My daughter was sick, whatever. Okay, I get it. You had an emergency. Please do not ever let it happen again. And if you do, every single one of those bowls will be in the trash and you will pay to replace them. There has to be consequences. And people would say to me, the joke before he was president, the joke was that I was Donald Trump from my staff. They would laugh and say, oh, Trump is getting ready to fire somebody because on his show, The Apprentice, he was always like, get out, you're fired. But that's after 30 years of people disrespecting and not following simple guidelines. I set my business up with a lot of autonomy. You have a key, you have your hours, there is a dress code, respect the dress code, respect the building, the counters, the floors, don't get color all over the floor, wipe up your mess, clean up after yourself. And in return, you make a really nice living and you have every Saturday off. We are closed on Saturdays. So for me, I felt like I'm giving everything I possibly can to you. I'm asking for equal respect in return, respect my property, respect the culture of the salon. So what happens is right now, there is such a demand on experienced hairstylists to fill positions. Commissioned salons, like my former salon, are struggling because everybody thinks that solo suites and booth rental is the answer. Here's my take on it, and it may not be very popular, but that's okay. I'm not looking for anyone to be my friend. I'm looking to be a coach to tell people what's up and what you may not be realizing that you're doing. So as a stylist, a lot of people are, that artistic right brain. I'm an artist. I'm not a business person. I don't want to sell retail, blah, 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 blah. I've heard it all. I get it. But they also are like, I got into this business so I would have flexibility and I could come and go as I please. And I don't want to stick to any kind of hours. Well, this is what happens. If I give you all that freedom and say, you know what, Michelle, just come in whenever the heck you feel like it. Michelle's the person at the end of the year doing her tax return saying, this industry sucks. I'm not making any money. I got to get another job or I got to go to nursing school. I've heard it all. But you didn't put the time in. So if you're not going to put the hours in and you're not going to do what you need to do to get butts in your chair, it's no one else's responsibility but yours. And then this is what happens. You become the little gypsy flitting in and out, disrupting everybody else's lives that's there doing what they're supposed to be doing and being successful. And then the successful ones see you going out and doing whatever the heck you want. And then the successful ones are like, well, the owner's not saying anything to her, so I want to come and go as I please. And I don't want to stay and do that last client. And then all of a sudden, the successful people aren't so successful. And then they want to blame the owner because the fish stinks from the head down. They're like, hey, you let this happen. I'm not busy anymore. What's going on? So I think that there's this mistaken idea that going solo was the answer. I believe that protecting the culture is the answer. I think the people that are fleeing from the commission salon, it's not about the income. It's not about the money, because trust me, I get 4 emails a day from people who say, I've only been doing this 2 years and I'm running a suite and I'm starving, I'm dying, I have no clients. And I'm like, what possessed you to rent your own salon when you have 0 clients and you have to pay rent? What were you thinking? In a salon, at the minimum, the salon has to pay you minimum wage for the hours that you're there. So you have that little bit of guarantee And you have the ability to have a strong mentor in the salon to watch and learn from. So you're not really getting the value of that apprenticeship time. Everybody thinks of it. Somebody put on a forum yesterday, this seems like an awful lot of work for $8 an hour. And she listed all of the description of the apprentice position. It was wash and fold the towels, schedule appointments, shampoo, apply glazes, reattach something, braids or whatever. I forget what the list was, but she was like, it seems like an awful lot of work for $8 an hour. And it is a lot of work for $8 an hour. But would you prefer to be in a suite that's, say, $1,000 a month that you have to pull out of your pocket? You have rabbit ear pockets. You have zero money. And now you have to pay $1,000 a month for your rent. You have to pay salon insurance. You have to pay your license fee. You have to pay for all of your supplies. So now out of zero comes $1,200 to $1,300. You're at a negative $1,300, where if you started with that $8 an hour, $8 an hour, 40 hours a week is $320 a week times 4. Do you see what I'm saying? So you would have earned that $1,200 rather than be $1,200 in the hole. There's nothing wrong with salon suites. I think it's a great setup for that experienced, seasoned stylist that's had enough of a culture that he or she no longer vibes with, and they have their client base, they're successful, and they're like, I just want to do my thing. I don't want this drama that comes along with the salon. However, if that owner would have put a stop to the drama like I did, I wasn't popular for it, for weeding people out, but I was so determined to protect that culture. And now 30 years into owning a salon, the girls that are there right now with my daughter who owns the salon, every single person in there with the exception of one, and she took my place. So she was brand new to replace me. Every single person in that building started with me 17 years ago and has stayed with me the entire time because I fought for the culture. I made sure that nobody came in and stirred the pot. There was no pot to be stirred. I didn't care if you came to me and said, I have a $5,000 a week book. I just need a home to do my thing. A girl came to interview with me and she's like, I'm a color expert. I book every 15 minutes. And I said, you're amazing. And you should stay exactly where you are because I don't want anyone in my culture doing a 15-minute retouch. Because if you're doing a 15-minute retouch, that means that you're like the Super 7N girl. You're using the same formula on every person that sits in your chair. You're literally slapping it on because there's zero chance that you can give a consultation, a greeting, a warm hug, a cup of coffee, talk about their needs for their hair, mix it and apply it in 15 minutes. I don't care what you say. That's not possible. And it's not the environment that I want to be in. I want that Ritz-Carlton vibe. I want that 5-star experience. I want the heated neck pad on during the retouch. I want the flavored cappuccino that when Leslie comes in, we're like, caramel today, caramel latte. And she's like, oh, I've been thinking about it all morning. It's those little touches that make it special. So back to my morning coffee. I'm always rabbit all over the place, but that's why you guys keep coming back because you find it entertaining. So since August, every day, the $4.28 cup of coffee. So I am very controlling and I always strive to control every environment that I'm in. My husband and I went to dinner last night and there was a really obnoxious, loud table full of children that were not being disciplined by their parents, and it was making me insane. So the place that I go to for my coffee is moving the coffee shop to another location in the hotel. And every day they say, tomorrow's the big day. And I go back and it's not the big day. The coffee shop's in the same place. But this morning, walking to my destination, I had a little touch of anxiety, knowing the control side of me was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this new coffee shop. I've taken ownership of this hotel. My husband was just making fun of me because he's like, oh my gosh, you're that weirdo that like is at the same place every single day at a certain time. The staff probably thinks you're some kind of weirdo. I'm like, I don't care. It's a beautiful hotel. I'm very comfortable there. I know every inch of the property now. I know my little hiding spots where I look at the ocean and drink my coffee. So he made fun of me. So I go in today and the new space has like a bar in the double doors closing it off and the windows are all blacked out. And I'm like, oh, once again, they didn't move. They said they were going to move. And as someone who remodeled salons quite a bit, I get it. I know construction is always, always behind. And I know the hotel is stressing like crazy because it's holiday time and they want to be all decorated festive. And it's like a construction site with hard hats and drills and all kinds of dust. So I walk into the regular coffee shop and the same guy who waits on me all the time, who finally knows my drink. It only took since August for him to know that I order the same thing every day. And he greets me with a big smile. And I said, "Good morning, Taylor. What happened? We were supposed to be in the new digs today." And he said, "I know. They're saying possibly later this afternoon." So he says, "Your usual today?" And I said, "That sounds awesome." So he goes to make my coffee and he says, once again, "Our machine's down. We can only do a room charge or cash." And I'm like, and now I'm more friendly with him. So I'm more accepting. And I always have a spare $10 bill in my bag for those moments when the machine's down so I don't get angry. So I said, "Oh, you're killing me, dude. I kind of should have thought that because you're moving today that your machine was going to be down, because any little thing, that machine is so temperamental and you always have those issues." And he laughed. And I said, "I don't know. I had a little bit of anxiety walking here this morning. I wasn't quite ready for the new location." And he laughed and he said, "I'm giving up this beautiful sunrise view out his window." He starts at 5 a.m. every morning. So he, as one of the perks of his little coffee shop job, he gets to see the sunrise every morning. So he's not happy about the change either of them moving. So we had a little moment agreeing on the whole atmosphere thing. And he gets me now. And that's part of what I wanted to talk about with vibe and culture. Like when people get you, everything becomes more easeful. You know, you don't feel like you have to watch what you say or be awkward. It's just easeful. So he's like, "Yeah, the machine's down." And I'm like digging in my bag. I'm looking for my little spare $10 bill. And he puts his hand up and he goes, "I got you. You're here every day. I know you're good for it. Let me treat you today." And I was like, "Oh, Taylor, you just made my day. Thank you so much." It was a stinking cup of drip Starbucks coffee that probably cost 35 cents for them to make. So here's the point. Why am I sharing about my coffee? Why am I talking about the Four Seasons and 5-star service? Because when you are a regular somewhere, whether it's you're the employee that works there or you're the mailman that goes in there or the beauty supply delivery person or the UPS person that comes in, everybody wants to feel seen and respected and embraced and appreciate it. Even that UPS guy that bends down and drops off those boxes, if you just ignore him when he comes in every single day and act like he's not a human being, you know, next time he comes in, ask him if he wants a cup of coffee. If you have a coffee bar in your salon, say, "Hey, you're working hard today. It's cold out there. You want to sit and have a cup?" "Oh, no, you know, UPS, they're timed. They have to get somewhere at a certain amount." But it's not whether he says yes or no. It's you making the offer. Do you make your clients feel like they are regulars? One of the biggest offenses that I see over and over and over again that I'm super mindful of because it pisses me off is new clients only. 50% off. New clients only. $30 gift card. New clients only. 50% off retail. Everything's new clients only. What about those clients that are showing up every 4 weeks for 15 years doing the same thing over and over again? We start to abuse them a little bit. We start to be, "Oh, someone needs to be squeezed in. I'm going to put her in between Nancy and Sally because they're both so cool. They're not going to mind." They mind. They have been the most loyal to you. My daughter had a great idea. When we changed over to online booking, for those of you who don't do online booking or you're nervous about it, I can honestly say the only negative to online booking is people got out of the habit of pre-booking. And when we were a Summit salon, we were lighting it up with the pre-booking. I think we were at like 89% pre-book because people were so trained that if you don't schedule your next appointment before you leave, you're not going to get your holiday appointments. So we had gotten people into the habit. When the online booking happened, they were like, "I don't have to call during this hour and this hour. I can go on at 3 a.m. and schedule whenever I feel like it, and I'll be able to get whatever I want." So that became an issue with our numbers. We're like, we noticed that Sally now only had maybe 10 visits for the year versus 12 because she waited, went online and couldn't get what she wanted, and she had to stretch. So we looked at those numbers and my daughter said, I want to do something right now to create that habit for 2020. So right now we're overwhelmed. We're busy. Everybody's calling. Everybody wants to come. It's like nirvana. It's great. And then January comes and it's crickets and we're broke because we spent all of our money on the holidays because we had it all coming in, all the client gifts, all the bigger tips, all the things in December. And then come January, you're like, oh crap, I didn't prepare for this and I have nobody in my chair. So that's what I love about my daughter. She's not a hairdresser and she knows from me having all this experience, I'm like, get ahead of that, get on it right now. So she sent out a really nice email appreciating all the clients. She did a special offer for Giving Tuesday that went out yesterday where people are nominating someone for a day of beauty at the salon, an overnight at a local hotel, a gift certificate for a local boutique, and a gift certificate for dinner at a local restaurant. So she's doing that and she's going to be collecting email addresses from everyone and then she can send them an offer to come in January for everyone who entered. It's the simple little things that cost you nothing. So she is doing a promotion. She sent out an email to every single client. We have thousands of clients in the database saying, let's make 2020 so amazing. You know, set up all of your appointments ahead of time. Every time you pre-book an appointment and you keep that appointment, you'll receive 10% off that visit. So if they make an appointment when they're leaving for the next time they come and they keep it, they get 10% off that entire visit. And you might say, well, I don't want to give that money. Trust me, at the end of the year, that 10% is going to be nothing. First of all, you're sharing, if you're the owner, you're sharing the 10% with the staff member. So it's 5% of the salon loses and 5% the client loses. So if it's $100 service, we're talking about $10, $5 for the stylist, $5 for the salon. So isn't it worth $5 to have that person coming and spending the $100 every 4 weeks? You can't be short-sighted and look at the little expenses and think that it's bothering your bottom line. Your bottom line is doing nothing and expecting the client to just keep showing back up. She needs to feel that norm factor. And if her getting that 10% off makes her feel like I did getting my free coffee today, now I won't be so bitter when I pay the $4.28 tomorrow because I'm like, I got a free one yesterday. I'm ahead of myself this month. It's the little things. I see on all the forums, people are talking about holiday gifts and they're like, what are you getting your clients for Christmas? Like, I want to get them something. So everybody's talking about, and I talked about this, I think last week, hand lotion, candles, body scrubs, like things that have zero to do with growing your business and growing your relationship with that client. Is it nice for them to get a little hand lotion? Yeah. But is it nicer for you to say, Sally, when you come in for your January visit, it's going to be so much more peaceful in here. I know December is a little harried and crazy, and we love it. We love our holiday madness. But schedule your January appointment. And when I see you in January, I'm going to treat you to a $25 amazing head massage and wonderful treatment that's going to lock your color in. And it's going to last through to your next visit. And it's on us. That's our holiday gift to you. You can say it verbally, so you don't have to print anything out. You don't have to go out and buy anything. You can have the verbal conversation. I chose to print it on just little pieces of colored paper and we rolled it like a little scroll and we tied a little curly ribbon around it. And when clients were leaving in December, we handed it to them and said, happy holidays. This is for your January visit. And then all of a sudden we were busy in January because the client wanted to take advantage of that treatment. She may have been somebody that pushed it off to early February and now she moved up to January. So then all those people, not only did they have an extra visit that year, but they also got in the habit of asking for that treatment. So the next time she came in, and I can't believe how effective it was. Literally, it's a $25 add-on service. So my colorist now makes an extra $25 every single month on every single client because they ask at the bowl, they turn around, they do that thing where they look up at you that drives you crazy, got the eyeballs in your face. They're like, you're going to do that thing, right, that you gave me for Christmas? And the colorist is kind of like, what thing? And then I said, that thing you gave me, that really amazing treatment. Oh my gosh, my hair felt so great. It's the best it ever looked. I got so many compliments. And they start asking for it at every visit. So now your $75 retouch becomes a $100 retouch. And all you did was give them that for Christmas and create that habit. So, and that's where the culture thing comes in, where with my salon being departmentalized, if the colorist is super busy and just doesn't even think about it and may drop the ball on it, if the stylist that person then goes to for the haircut is taking down their color and she says, did you want to do that treatment again that you did in January? Then the stylist can make $25 more doing that treatment. So it's an upsell opportunity for whoever has it pop into their head to remind the guest to do it. So make your clients feel special. It doesn't have to be a $25 treatment. It can be, we used to do these treatments from Alpha Parf Milano that were in a glass vial and they smelled amazing. And they came in a professional box. I think there was a dozen in a box. And I want to say it came out to be like $1 something a vial. So putting one of those vials in one of those little bags that you can get at the dollar store, the drawstring little mesh bags that you get at baby showers where they have the little Jordan mints in them, something that simple, but it's not hand cream that you don't sell in the salon. It's an actual treatment that you do in the salon that when they take it home and they smell how amazing it is, they're going to come in next time and say, that conditioner that you sent me home with at Christmas smelled so amazing. I want that again. Do you have that? And then they spend $10 a visit to get it as an in-salon treatment. And your hands rubbing their hair and doing the whole rubbing the temples and really getting in there and rubbing the back of their neck, that's worth $10 versus them dripping it on in the shower really quick and rinsing it out. I find clients, when they try to do a deep conditioning treatment at home, they slap it on soaking wet hair. It's very expensive conditioner, and they squirt it out and they slather it all over, roots to ends, on soaking wet hair in the shower. And they're like, oh, that wasn't that great. But if they're laying back and you're giving them the massage of all massages and you're taking your time and you're doing it this way, front and back at the same time, little shoulder rub, nobody is rubbing these people anymore. If they're not paying to go get a massage every once in a while and their husband isn't a good back rubber, which most aren't, most have a different agenda when they do the back rub, nobody's touching them. So you have the opportunity to make their day in so many ways. But in my opinion, hand lotion and people are like, oh, we got a nail file with our logo on it. I'm sorry, I get my nails done. I don't want a damn nail file with your logo on it. It's not going to make me feel warm and fuzzy. And you're probably spending on that nail file with your logo the same amount of money it would have cost you to do that conditioning treatment that turns into a $25 service. So how did I go from culture and vibe to Christmas offerings? Because I am extremely ADD and I want you guys to have all the things. When I have your attention, I want to unload everything and give you all the ideas to make 2020 better than 2019. So again, if you walk into your salon that you're working in and you have that ick and that pit in your stomach, and you can't change who's around you. If it's not your salon, you can't run around getting rid of everybody who's negative Nelly, but you can choose who you want to spend your time with. So maybe it's time to reevaluate, look around and see that the culture and the environment that you're in is holding you back more than you think you're holding yourself back. If you're really skilled and you're really good at what you do and you're great with your clients and your clients are coming into a negative environment and they're whispering to you like, oh, that one over there, she just makes me so uncomfortable. You know how it goes. Your clients pick up on that vibe. So if your culture and your environment and your coworkers are not gelling and you're not excited to go to a Christmas dinner with them or an end of the year, whatever with them, then it's time to look at, how is my environment holding me back from doing great things? And chances are it's either you're holding yourself back, the place that you work, the leadership is holding you back, or the culture is holding you back. So you have to reflect on those things. Right now, you're too busy to do anything. But over the holidays, if you take some time off, which I hope that you do, I want you to look at next year and say, what income do I want to achieve? How do I get there? And what is holding me back? What is in my way? And if I can help you in any way, if you're struggling and you have a decision that you're like, I don't know what to do. I get DMs all the time. I'm happy to jump on a call and help anybody out who's feeling stuck in a situation that they think is hopeless, when to me, sometimes just like the bowls in the sink, I look at it so simply, like that's a form of passive aggression. And, and the answers that the person got about the dirty bowls in the sink, most of them were passive aggressive answers. It was, I would wash all of them and put them on their station and put a note saying, you're welcome. That's not going to change behavior. That's childish. It's kind of like when you're in a cut fight when you're a kid. That's not going to change that behavior. Having the difficult conversation right on the spot and putting the fire out right away prevents it from happening over and over and over again. Whatever you allow gets repeated. So anything in your life, people crossing boundaries, people, walking all over you, you're allowing that. So you're letting it happen over and over again. It's not anyone else's fault but your own to be treated that way. So anything that you give energy to is going to expand. And if you just keep saying, I can't believe this, I can't believe that, take a different approach and change the trajectory yourself. Like just make your answer different than it was before, or you're just going to have a big old repeat in 2020 of what you did in 2019. So hope you guys are hanging in there. I hope you're hydrating. Make sure you're drinking more water, something that I never did and is really bad when you're busy in the salon. You need to super, super hydrate, even if it means running to the bathroom all day long. We're breathing in chemicals. It's dangerous to not drink water. Make sure you have, if you're not bringing your lunch, have a protein shake or something next to you that you can sip on throughout the day. I would eat breakfast at 10. I would start my day at 12 and I wouldn't eat again until 9 o'clock at night. And it's so unhealthy. And I gained so much weight doing that. So please learn from my mistakes and take better care of yourself and take the time to eat something. Ask a coworker to take down your color so that you can shovel some nutrition into your mouth. Have an apple, do something. Kim says, I really need to work on setting boundaries at work and my family. I hear you, girl. It's anyone who's having boundary issues needs to come to my 2-day event in Costa Mesa, California in March. I am collaborating with my life coach. We're working on the branding and the sales page right now, so we don't have the event for sale, but it's going to be March 22nd and 23rd. If you're interested in learning about boundaries and life-changing stuff about the financial part of your career, as well as your boundaries and your people skills, this is the event to go to. We're not going to have the pounding music and the fog machines and the 42 curling irons for sale. It's a really awesome, fun, small venue, half indoors, half outdoors. We're going to break up into groups and do some cool activities. And you're going to learn not all the things. It took me 9 months to learn it, but you're going to learn the most important things that I got out of my life coaching experience on how to start setting those boundaries. So save that date. And I think I'm over my time. My husband usually gives me the hook by now. I'm at 40 minutes. So thank you for listening. I hope this helps. Always be sure to share this, share it on other forums, share it with a friend, make sure that you tag a friend, invite them into Coffee and Colorful Conversation. And if you didn't catch last week's coffee chat, it was a great interview with my protege, Alicia, and how she started with me from beauty school. And now she's a 6-figure colorist working 3 days a week and off every Saturday. So it's here on this page and it's also on my YouTube. If you've never checked out my YouTube, jump over and you can binge on a bunch of videos on YouTube. So have a great day.